What's up, everybody? RJ back with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 3-disc DVD set of Heart and Soul, the Hart Family Anthology. Alright, first I'm going to look at the artwork on the front. It's very good artwork on this DVD. You have Owen Hart up there, you got Bret Hart, and you got their mom, and then you got Stu Hart, and then you got British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and then Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Hart right there. Open it up, some more good artwork. You got Bret Hart, Owen Hart again, the Hart Dynasty, Jim the Anvil Hart, Owen Hart and the British Bulldog, Stu Hart, and there's the old school picture of the Hart Foundation. As I said, it was a 3-disc set. There's the first disc right there. Second disc, they all look the same. There's the third. Alright, now on the back, you have a picture of the January 4th Monday Night Raw where Bret Hart hosted Raw. This was after the show went off the air, and in the special features on disc 1, which I'll talk about in a second, you'll see all about that. And here's a little bit of the wording if you would like to read that. I don't know if it's clear enough for you, but it should be. And it shows a little bit of the match listing right here. And let's go ahead and get started on the review itself. Alright, on disc 1, alright, it's the story, and the story is pretty solid. It starts off talking about the father of all of them, which is Stu Hart, and they talk about how he got into it and stuff in 1915 and stuff, how he started, and how he wanted to. They talk about how he wanted to be in the Olympics, and that he got advice from a guy. I forget the guy's name right now, but he got advice from a guy to just get into wrestling, and he did. And he started wrestling. And then he met their mom, and which her name was Helen, if I believe, if I'm right. Helen was her name, and they get married, and then he becomes a promoter. He starts promoting, and then they talk about the Hart household and how crazy it was. They had the Hart dungeon. They had all kinds of animals. They had a bear, a wrestling bear, in their basement for 2 years. They talk about the family, and everyone pitches in this DVD too, which makes it really good. The whole family's in here. I mean, all the brothers, everyone talks on this. It's very good. It's very solid. They put it together really well. They talk about how they, from riches to rags, how the promotion and stuff got canceled and stuff because of 100 people signed a petition to get it canceled, and just out of nowhere, one week they were all unemployed and had nothing to do, and how they went from having all kinds of money to not having any at all. And then they start talking about the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs. Then they talk about, some tragedies. And then, I mean, this whole story starts off with tragedies into happy, stories, and warm stories back to tragedies, just off and on throughout the whole story. And after that, after the Hart Foundation British Bulldog part, they talk about Stampede was sold to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon buys it, and he also takes, Jim the Anvil Hart. He takes Bret Hart. He takes the British Bulldog. He takes all those guys. And then they start talking about Dean, which was one of the guys, one of their brothers. He then they start talking about Dean, and it's a very, very solid story. I mean, they talk about pretty much everything in it. I don't want to ruin the whole story for everybody, but just want to give you examples and stuff. They talk about then that toward the end of it, they talk about the tragedy. They get into real detail about Owen and the British Bulldog, and their mom, and then their dad, then the Bret stroke and stuff. And then they talk about the future and stuff, which is the Hart Dynasty, they think, and stuff, which I guess we'll see. And then that's pretty much the whole story. Alright, the special features go on the first disc. I was very impressed with them. They have they talk about Stu Hart as the athlete, about how he was a football player and stuff before he got into wrestling. They talk about their mom Helen's car accident where she goes through the windshield and just messes her face up, breaks it in all different places and stuff, and she was, you know, out for a year. And they talk about the bear they had, like I was talking about earlier. They talk in more detail about the bear they had in their basement for 2 years, the wrestling bear, and stuff like that. And then after that, they talk about Stu and the tiger. They had during intermissions, back when he had the Stampede, he would he'd have the tiger out there and he'd be wrestling with it and stuff. And they talk about how he loved that. And they talk about Owen Hart as a prankster and stuff, and they talk about all kinds of pranks he did, which is pretty funny. They did a lot of stuff I didn't know about Owen Hart. Then they talk about Chris Jericho that used to had a long conversation with Owen Hart, and he talks about his conversation that he had with him and stuff he didn't know about. Bret Hart's return to the WWE. It was very cool to see all the stuff. I mean, they show him backstage before the January 4th show and stuff. You see a lot of stuff you wouldn't have, you would never saw if they didn't make this, and I'm really glad they put that stuff in there. They put the post-Raw celebration from January 4th when he hosted, which was that picture I was telling you guys about on the back here. That picture right there and stuff. But yeah, it was very, very good. Overall, the first disc it's very solid DVD in total. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are going to get this anyways. It was very good. And let's go ahead and move on to disc 2. Alright, the second disc starts off with the introduction by the Hart Dynasty, and they pretty much narrate through the whole second and third disc. Alright, the first match is Keith Hart, Bruce Hart, and Bret Hart in a Stampede wrestling match on May 1979. Stampede arrives in WWE. Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs for the World Tag Team Championships on November 1st, 1986. Then there was an unforgettable match, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, Intercontinental Championship match. Great match, just great match. It was at SummerSlam 1992. Bulldog was wrestling with a staph infection to his knee. It was just a great match all around. One of my favorite matches of all time. Then you got Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Bruce Hart, and Keith Hart versus Shawn Michaels and his Knights from Survivor Series 1993, a traditional Survivor Series match. Very good, very, very good. They pulled it off very well. Then they got Brothers versus Brothers, Bret Hart and Owen Hart versus the Steiner brothers, Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner. Awesome match. It was on January 11th, 1994. Very good match. Very well done. They did a good job. I remember watching that way back in the day. It's great to have it on DVD now. And on disc 3, some of the highlights on disc 3 were Bret Hart versus Owen Hart in a steel cage match from SummerSlam. They had Bret Hart and the British Bulldog versus Owen Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart on Raw. Awesome match. I love having these matches from Raw and SmackDown and such on DVD and stuff. It's just great pickups in my opinion. Owen Hart versus the British Bulldog, European Championship on Monday Night Raw on March 3rd, 1997. Great match. Bret Hart, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Brian Pillman versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and Legion of Doom. 10-man tag match at the In Your House Canadian Stampede in 1997. Awesome event. Bret Hart, Owen Hart, British Bulldog versus Stone Cold, Undertaker, and Do Love on Monday Night Raw. Awesome pickup in my opinion. Like I said, any matches from Raw and stuff, just awesome on DVD. Then after that, they have the Hart Dynasty versus Degeneration X. Not the best match they could have picked for them to be in, I guess, but because DX, just pretty much ends that one quick. It's not a very long match. SmackDown, but overall, though, I mean, it was a great DVD. This is RJ saying see you next time, and please comment, subscribe, people. Thanks a lot, guys.